G'day everyone, and welcome to this Learn Some Drums lesson for Hypnotize by System of a Down. At the start of this song, we just have 16th note hi-hats for 11 bars. I think if you're really going to dive in and learn this song properly, now is an excellent time to work on your shoulder tip technique over on the hi-hats. It's a pretty good tempo and it's something that you definitely should add to your tool bag as a drummer. What I mean by that is we're going to play with the shoulder and then come up and hit with the tip using the wrist, just like this. The idea behind it is that you get 2 strokes for the price of 1 downward motion, so that's pretty economical as it is, but then it also sounds pretty cool because that shoulder kind of brings out a little bit of an accent and just makes it sound super hip. So one more time, 16th notes for 11 bars to start this song. After that, we are into a beat for the verse, and it's a pretty straightforward beat that goes like this. Next up, we have our first little tom bit, and I've added my 8-inch tom just because I think it sounds kind of cool for the song, but you don't need it at all. In this particular instance, we're going to cross the right hand over to grab the last accent, so I'll break it down slowly so you can see what I mean. Here's another technique tip for getting those accents to come out on the toms. And it's a good one to grab now because later on in the song, we have to play the same sort of pattern twice as fast. So the technique is that after one accent, on the next hand, you want to play an upstroke, which is where you lead out with the wrist, but sort of flop down with the tip just so that you get a stroke on the way up and you're prepared for that next accent. That's the kind of technique you could spend a lot of time with on a practice pad, just getting it exactly right, just so that it flows nice and smoothly. We play that tom pattern for 3 bars, and then we're back into our verse groove again. We play the tom pattern again, and then we're into a slightly different verse groove that goes like this. The 30-second note fill at the end of that phrase is quite tricky to get your hands around. You could practice it slowly and eventually work it up to speed, but also it probably wouldn't be the end of the world if you made up your own fill and just zoomed around the kit in a similar style. There's one more beat that we need before we hit into that fast tom section, and it goes like this. Next up, it's the instrumental section, and this is where we really bring the chops over onto the toms. We want to grab those accents and bring them out as loud as possible and keep kick drums going 4 on the floor, just like this. In the fourth bar, I can hear a slightly different accent pattern. If you want to challenge yourself, it's something that does kind of flow off the hands pretty nicely. So if you work on it, I think you'll definitely feel pretty good about it. Feel your forearms burn right throughout that section, and I just hope that your arms don't fall off completely. To finish out that section, there's one snare drum on beat 4 at the end of one of those bars. And because this song didn't already have enough challenges in it, there's some quick kick drums in the next section. The last two bars of that section just have a couple of different crash cymbals in there. If you have a second crash cymbal, fantastic. If you don't even worry about it. From there, we are back into that tom groove once again, and to my ears, the first bar sounds pretty similar to what we were playing before, but then we start to roll it around the drums, a little something like this. Getting the hands from the floor tom back up to the first tom quickly is something that just takes practice. Start it out really slow and gradually you'll be able to speed it up. We've got one more beat and then we're at the end of the song. And there we go, that is Hypnotize by System of a Down. While there's not too many drum parts in the song, what is in there is a little bit technically challenging. So if you have any questions, pop them in the comments below and I'll try and answer them as best as I can. But on the whole, it's just about taking it slowly and then gradually speeding up until you feel comfortable getting through that stuff at speed. Good luck with it, happy practicing, and I'll see you at the next lesson.